Hello and welcome to this wonderful Bingothon race here. We have a Celeste Sinkout Bingo randomizer run by Isaac and steven123505. I don't know what a Sinkout is, so I'll just go over to the commentators that we have assembled to explain what this is.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Bingothon. We're so excited to be here. I'm Isaac. I'm here with Steven, and we're going to be playing Celeste Sinkout. Sinkout is a really fun variant that you could play with any game. Obviously, here we're with Celeste, where it's basically Battleship. We've placed hidden things, and our opponents have to find the ships. Um, we're going to turn it over to our commentators, Creep and Metagloria. Metagloria being one of the inventors of Sinkout. So if you have any questions, just refer to them, and we'll get started.
Right. Yep. And following on an introduction, I'm Creep. I'm a Celeste speedrunner, bingo enthusiast. I play a significant amount of Celeste bingo, and this is just one of the more fun variants and more strategic variants that we have to offer. So very excited that we get to showcase this today.
And I'm Metagloria, also sort of a legacy Celeste runner and bingo enthusiast. A long time ago, when after the first couple of waves of Celeste lockout bingo started, people started exploring other variant options like invasion and some other things. And I looked at the bingo board and said, what if we put battleship ships on it and then had each other try to find those? And it became a thing. So that's Sinkout, and that's what we're going to be showcasing.
All right, I think we're ready to get started.
Yep. Okay. So without further ado, we can let the players get deafened, get ready for this first game, and we will get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are starting now.
Good luck.
All right. So we have on the board, we have the different dots on the board. Those are gonna be the locations of the ships that each player has decided to indicate. So let's see how this pans out. I have actually not seen the board yet. Meta, you have had time to review it. Could you
Yeah.
explain what has happened on the board so far?
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff here. There's some objectives that are, I guess, new to this generator. Some of them are quite simple and won't take very long to do once you are in that particular chapter. But some of them complete 2 chapters grabless, use a red bubble in 3 chapters. I guess that's going to be both temples and maybe a summit, or farewell has red bubbles. There's 3 blue and 3 red hearts, which is going to require players to do 3 complete B sides, which are slightly more difficult than the A sides. And as you can see on the board on screen, both players have elected to include that. That might be the most gameplay intensive item here, as well as all collectibles in 2 A sides, which if you do just the first 2 chapters, doesn't take a super long time, but it is a bit of an investment. So there's a lot of diverse stuff going on here.
Yeah, very very interesting to see like such a special blind generator that was created. Thank you to LMB for making up a fixed board for Bingothon specifically, as we're gonna head into the first chapter. Stephen gonna immediately be turning on Grabless, so this is the Grabless variant that is within uh, the Bingo mod that we have inside Celeste. So this just is a quality of
Isaac is
life.
doing dashless instead of grabless. Now, is there a reason to be doing that in start?
I think this may be for three three
Oh,
wingberries in
yes.
one chapter. So
Of course. So there are 2 regular red strawberries that are winged, and winged berries in this game. You can't dash in that particular. So here, this is the first one. So if you dash, that berry flies off screen. But there is also a secret golden winged berry that you get at the end of chapter 1 for beating the entire level without dashing. So that's where Isaac's head is at here.
yeah, this is very interesting to commit to quite a tricky objective early on here. But
definitely is. There's some synergy. You also get Dashless Chasm, which is the objective in the middle of the board, by doing this. But little does Isaac know that neither Three-Winged in one chapter nor Dashless Chasm will be a hit on Steven's ships.
yeah, we will see how both players decide to navigate. Steven in the last room of Chasm right now, just completing up the first chapter grabless. It will also not be a hit on any kind of ship, even if that gets ticked off. But immediately we get to showcase some of the progression. So this is a special progression developed by a community member Relmont, who also developed this mod, Bingo UI. So Bingo UI is an interface which allows us to manipulate how the progression works and what chapters get to be used for each specific progression. So for Sinkout here, we are using Banana Split. And Banana Split, the concept is you unlock sets of chapters at once. And you only have to complete one of the set chapters to unlock the next set of chapters. So after completing City, Steven had access to Old Site and Golden Ridge, and decided to pick Golden Ridge here. So you get lots of variety and options, and can still actually go back for Old Site if he does choose to do so.
And this was a long time coming. So in my Celeste Bingo days, that particular type of progression had not yet been developed. There were some other custom progression rules, but there was this problem of sort of Chapter 3 is a longer and busier chapter than Chapter 4, and so there was never a really good solution for how to balance progression. And I really like this banana split way that the chapters unlock differently. It's a little bit more even in terms of progression.
Yes, that definitely it does open up more strategic areas, because Golden Ridge is one of the chapters that's known for being extremely berry dense. There are a lot of berries here, and we see Steven also just utilizing that fact by completing another objective on the board, which would be all berries in Shrine right now. Has 9 berries and works extremely well for 50 berries.
And 15 and 4, which I think Steven had his eye on for, he got some of the berries in the start as well. So at the end of Shrine, he'll probably have 15 in Ridge. Both players did pick the 15 berries in 4 chapters objective as one of their ship objectives, because it is pretty long. But it's one of those things where I think some of these objectives are so long that the players will know that that's what each other's picked. So there are sort of these anchor objectives that are on ships by both players, and yet the players didn't pick exactly the same orientations of objectives around those bigger objectives. So it's going to be interesting.
Yep. And Isaac does finish 3 to 1 chapter and Dashless Chasm, but both of those are going to be misses here. So
I mean, because this is, just a 5x5 board, misses are still information. So, when eventually Isaac gets 3 blue and 3 red hearts, but he'll probably have a lot of other things on the board by that point. So, yeah.
anyways, we can see some more banana split being showcased, and you can see while Steven is in chapter 4, Isaac is going to be in chapter 2 here. So just a little bit more of banana split being showcased, and the differences in routing it showcases.
I'd be thinking about doing 2B first pass here, because Old Site B side is on the board, and whether that's a hit or not, you're going to need the red heart for 3 blue and 3 red hearts later.
Yes.
Or you could go for Poem in Awake, but that's the kind of objective where there's a couple of things on here like bounce on a bumper, read the Poem in Awake, and there was something, like jumpless start of 5A. Those are so quick and not out of the way that I wouldn't expect my opponent to have put that on one of their ships.
Yes. Now we do see Isaac going for 2B, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I like it.
I wonder what objectives it leads to. Is it looks like it's just strictly for only 2B. I don't see any other objective. Or it works for 3 blue and 3 red. So
yeah, which is
this will give you a red
It's a
heart.
later objective, but it is an important one. This will not help you with 3 binos in 3 chapters. There are only 2 binoculars in Old Site B-side.
Yes, and the way we count binoculars, it's not in Old Site. It's the A side and the B side are separate chapters at once. So that's how we count it. Otherwise, Isaac could have gotten the 1 binocular in 2A and also the 2 binoculars here. So that's generally how Celeste Bingo binoculars work here.
A fun bit of trivia is that Maddie Thorson, the creator of Celeste, was aware of Celeste Bingo, and one of the patches after release added binoculars into the Chapter 3 B-side explicitly for the purpose of making another chapter have 2 binos for Bingo. So really
Yeah,
cool.
that is amazing how that happened. Unfortunately, we very likely won't be seeing Chapter 3 B-side, so we won't be able to showcase that.
Would not
But-
expect to see that here. I mean, it is one of the shorter B-sides, but given that it doesn't go with anything else other than simply getting a red heart, probably not going to be big. I'm guessing 3 blue, 3 red is probably going to be done in 1B, 2B, and 5B. I don't see any other longer B-sides that are...
3B actually potentially could be an option. It depends whether both players go for all berries in Presidential Suite, which is the final checkpoint. And there is some amount of objectives in Resort, such as I have no idea what the one in the bottom right is, but the all berries in huge mess order where you have to get bridge, then towels, then books, then chests.
Yeah, this is new. So this is a combination of things. We're used to seeing all berries in, insert checkpoint here for pretty much any checkpoint in the game. And we're also used to seeing specific mess orders as an objective because there's 3 segments in Huge Mess that can be completed in any order, so there's 6 different possible orders to complete it in. But I have never seen all berries in a specific mess order. And this one's a nuisance because that bridge berry that you have to get first, you can't get until you complete one of the other segments, which clears its respective piece of clutter out of the way to create a gap in the bridge where you can go down and get the berry. So there is inherently some backtracking and slowness to that objective. It'll be interesting to see if either player goes for it. Neither one decided to put a ship on it. So Temple for both players here. Okay, they after we just discussed at length the merits of being in Resort, they have decided to go the other route.
Wait, okay. Huge, crazy thought. Okay, so but before I say my thought, we do see Steven getting the first hit on Jump on 10 Snowballs. So that's on the 2 ship. So that's going to be the first hit. But my thought, and this is extremely niche bingo knowledge for the bottom right. So you know about the Death Warp in like to go up, going up from towels to books?
Yeah, yes.
So you complete books, or you complete books.
That was the thought I had when I was looking at this board before, and I said there's a way to do it. I think that's maybe the least inconvenient way.
I actually think that's the only way that you can do it. You complete books, you get the bridge berry, then you go to towels, do the death warp, complete books again, and then afterwards go into chests and get that berry.
And I mean, that's not bad because you get the blue heart on the way by doing that. The blue heart is the room where you can accomplish this death warp between towels and books. 5B for Isaac, which that's what I expected. You get the second red bubble chapter. You get a red heart that's relatively fast.
Oh.
Okay, now back into Old Site for Steven. So jumping around a bit, that I think makes sense. Steven has gotten a hit, so he's thinking blue hearts here.
Yeah, where are we planning to go here? It's going to be very interesting. Because this is just a blue heart for the time being. I don't think there are other things at the moment. But it's continuing on in 2A.
I mean, 2A is short. You can get some berries. You can get the tape. I think both players are expecting they're going to have to do B-sides, as well as berries.
Mm-hmm.
Keys. 8 keys is an objective on here. The big key chapters are sort of resort, 5A, 5B, farewell.
Yeah, it would be those chapters very early on in 3A. Like the first checkpoint alone has 3 keys. And then like semi-early on within 5B, there are
I see.
2 keys.
So Steven's working on 1-ups here as well.
I see.
Get 2 1-ups is hiding down there on the bottom row of the board. It isn't a necessary objective, but they don't know that.
This is good for just getting extra berries as well. Looks like Steven has given up on the 1-ups.
Oh yeah, so just to clarify for anyone who isn't familiar with Celeste, to get a 1-up, you have to get a chain of 6 uncollected berries, and then when you collect all 6 at once, you get a 1-up. If you get 7 in a row, you'll get a second 1-up. So get 2 1-ups doesn't necessarily mean get a 1-up twice. You could do it just by getting a trail of 7 berries in a single chapter. There would be a separate objective for something like get a 1-up in 2 chapters, which does exist, but is not on this board. Steven just clearing out the berries and unlocking the next checkpoint, and then heading into 5B, where Isaac is finishing up at the moment. And then I think both players know they're going into resort. It's just a matter of when. So I wonder if maybe Isaac goes that way after 5B.
Mm.
After you complete either resort or temple, and both of these players are going to be doing that in temple, you now have access to Reflection and Summit, which are chapters 6 and 7. They've got access to Farewell if they want to go there. That would allow you to jump on a pufferfish, and get some keys if you want to do that. But then
there's lots of things you could do in Farewell.
Yeah, but so the interesting thing about Banana Split is basically once you complete Temple, as these players have, now you can go pretty much anywhere. So it's just a matter of which things am I going to focus on, how am I going to diversify, trying to learn information about where my opponent's ships are versus committing to some of the longer objectives that I'm kind of assuming my opponent has chosen. So this becomes pretty wide open now.
And Isaac does get his first hit on kill 3 different Seekers.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. We didn't talk about killing Seekers. But yeah, you can do that by crushing them beneath gates or switch platforms. And that happened, and I just didn't remember to talk about it. So, Isaac is 1-upping now, perhaps?
I believe so. This could also just be like some berries, also 3-seated. That was an objective that Steven went for. But
right.
this is some progress towards 3-seated here. While Steven still playing through 5B, just playing pretty much the same thing that Isaac was playing.
I think it makes sense, again, just to give yourself sort of the most wide open opportunities. And you know you need the red heart, so. Ooh, that's a big death for Isaac, losing that 1-up and the berry train, so not making progress on either objective there. Now is Steven going to be killing Seekers? Not yet, probably. Killing Seekers is a bit easier in the Mixmaster checkpoint.
Okay, so Isaac is already back at 5 berries here.
Yeah.
So just needs to get this berry cleanly. for the 1-up. I guess you need 2. Oh wait, that is the 2-up. Okay.
I did see 2, so we can tick that. Steven is indeed working on seeker kills, and that has to be, as the objective says, different seekers. You can kill this one. It's a little bit tricky. You've got to pop it under that golden gate, like that, and then get Theo out of the way. Very nicely done without killing Theo. And Isaac finishing up Start Arb. Does need to continue on to unlock intervention because Isaac played 2B. Okay, now where do we go? So, an interesting side effect of finishing 2B and 2 1-ups is now you know you don't need to get all berries in Presidential Suite.
Yeah, that is true. So you don't have to play as far in Chapter 3, or like almost at all.
Reflection here for Steven.
Okay.
Reflection. Oh, a bumper, perhaps.
Yeah, so bumpers, you will see they're like little circular, like blobs. They move you around, like they bump you around as.
Oh, wait, this is so smart, though. I know exactly why Steven is here. Do you know?
This will get the ship direction of the.
No.
No?
All collectibles in 2A sides. Which in any other chapter means a ton of berries. But in 6A just means heart and cassette, which are right near the beginning.
Wait, yeah, that is actually so smart.
I didn't even consider that.
I kind of forgot you could do that.
I definitely did. I was thinking in my head, oh, chapter 1 and 2, it'll be fine. No, chapter 6, there are fewer collectibles. So even though the chapter itself is longer, you don't have to beat the chapter. You just get the tape and the heart, and that's halfway to that objective.
Big brain.
What a clever move. Now, I say that, but with 15 and 4 sitting there, you pretty much are going to clear out chapters 1 and 2. So is this really that much of a time save?
Not, I wouldn't say so. There's not really any. It's fast on the way, so you can eliminate a lot of like potential ship locations pretty early on, like the bumper. You get a bumper like here like really early.
Yeah, I think.
But aside from that, I don't think it eliminates a lot of options.
Yeah, let's see. Is Steven just going to clear out 2A at this point to get the second all collectibles A side? So let's see. What do we have in terms of ship hits? Each player has found one ship of the others.
Yes, so they've each found separate ships so far. So, like, this is very interesting seeing how this goes, because Isaac got a 3 ship. Meanwhile, even only a 2 ship right now. So, I don't know how much that will eliminate other options right now.
So, I think I'm getting the colors right. Steven has hit the kill 3 different seekers and knows that ship doesn't go up into 3-seeded berries, so has to decide.
That'll be Isaac. Isaac has hit 3 seekers.
So Steven's ships are orange, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I got that backwards. That's my bad. Anyway, Isaac knows that he's either going to have to do 3 keys in Pico 8 or all berries in 1500 meters, which are very different objectives.
Yes. I think you can bet that 3 keys in Pico is just earlier, so you have more access to stuff. But at 1500 meters, what else lies along there?
There's
You-
really, I mean, unless you
that's it,
want to
right?
get 15 berries in Summit along with the 1500 meter berries, other than that, I don't see a reason to go into Summit here. 3
You do
binos and
have-
3 chapters, maybe?
Yeah, binos, but that's
can do that
also
pretty quick.
super early on, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of Summit or Reflection on this board, which I think makes it interesting. The objectives are just spread really nicely around the early chapters. You've got to do a lot of berries, and you've got to do some B-sides, and you've got to... What other... Yeah, I mean,
I'm surprised no one has gone farewell yet. But it is understandable. It's
not a
quite
lot of
long.
synergy. No berries, pretty long.
Is for that, it'll only be for jump on a pufferfish, which is pretty early on. And then you have 3 binoculars, which you can get like throughout, and also he's also in abundance.
Definitely.
And there, I mean, like with 6A, there is only 1 collectible in farewell. However, that's at the very end of the level. I don't
Also,
think we're gonna see both
debatably
players
an
going
ace
for
level.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, also debate. Yeah, also that. And Steven has gotten yet another hit here.
Nice.
And going into farewell based on that information.
Now, are we gonna see DTS? Well, it looks like it. Looks like we're gonna try.
Did a 1-frame jump instead of 2 frames. So DTS is short term for dash trigger skip. This basically allows you to do an inventory skip, a trigger skip, and be able to just keep to your 2 dashes.
It shaves about at least a minute off of the speed run, but it also just makes the chapter a lot easier.
Nice.
And Steven hits it cleanly. So normally right here you would be limited to 1 dash, but Steven will be able to play all of these rooms with a double dash.
Very nice from Steven.
Yeah, back into 4A for Isaac. Why? Wing? No. More berries.
Binoculars?
Maybe binos. There are 3 binos in Ridge. Yes.
Snowballs also is good.
Very true. Steven taking jump on a pufferfish.
Nope, that is incorrect. So, still waiting to see how this goes. So, Steven can eliminate that to 3-winged in 1 chapter, or 15 berries in 4 chapters. Which you can like you could also go summit and get 15 berries and 1.5k berries there, just to like cover your bets. But also, it's just such a long chapter.
It's the kind of thing as a player, I'm like, is there any way I could not do this? Can I please pick other things? Pretty clean singular from Steven. On into power source for binos and keys. Snowballs on Isaac's side.
So just farming snowballs here while Steven is going to be in Power Stars going to the key hub, which is where we'll be getting the remaining keys and also binoculars. Isaac finding a quick death. and getting
That's
10
some
snowballs, which is not gonna hit anything yet again. Meanwhile, we'll take a update at the board state. So Isaac has hit 2 on the same ship, on the 3 ship, and Steven on 2 different ships. So let's see how this pans out here. And this is gonna work out extremely well for Isaac, or for Steven, getting this first ship. Use a red bubble in 3 chapters. You have a red bubble right there in Power Source Hub.
I forgot about that. Yeah, great point.
So once 8 keys that's ticked off, all Steven has to do is just enter that red bubble, activate it, and then that's the first sync of the game.
Let's hope he doesn't forget about the red bubble in all the key enthusiasm. Ooh. Nice. Red bubble on the way to a key. That makes sense too.
Yep.
Okay. So, lots of information there for Steven.
And Steven not ticking 8 keys yet. I'm confused as to why.
Well, I mean, that was 4 or 5 in Farewell. And
You have 1 in... Oh, yeah, 1 in Chapter 5, and then you're gonna get the rest here in Resort.
I think that's right, yeah. So that'll probably be ticked now, maybe? Or one more.
Oh, 7. So
Okay.
just about 10 more seconds, and then Steven will have the first sync of the game. Well, Isaac also in 3A. Gonna be approaching Huge Mess.
We knew
I
it was
think
gonna
very
happen.
likely doing Pico, potentially.
There is a lot you could do in Huge Mess. I think Pico makes sense. So there's the bridge on Isaac's screen, and you'll notice it is intact. So if you want to get under that bridge, you gotta clear some clutter.
And Steven has marked the first sync of this game with use a red bubble in 3 chapters, 8 keys, and all collectibles in 2 A-sides.
Very nice. And indeed, Pico here. So Pico is sort of the original version of Celeste, this 8-bit platformer with 32 screens, 18 berries, and apparently 3 keys, at least.
Yep, so it'll be the keys that unlock the berries that are in the chests. So you'll have one right here. This is your first key here. I actually don't know how many keys are in Pico, but
don't
you just
recall
have to touch the keys and that's it.
There, when I, in my bingo days, there were berry objectives and just progress objectives in Pico. I have not seen a key objective in Pico, so I also don't know offhand how many there are. No, there's quite a few. Pico, of course, has no grab functionality like in the main game, and the physics are just a little bit different, a little bit floatier, and there's also some neat skips that can be done based on screen transitions. That's, I think, the second key for Isaac. Oh, both are in Pico now. How lovely. And that's
Yeah, enjoy the Pico music.
There's the third key on Isaac's side. Get out of there. Now will Isaac restart the huge mess checkpoint and start working on that berry order? No, we're going to do something else instead. Going to farewell.
Farewell.
Sense.
Now, unfortunately, this won't work as well compared to Steven, because Steven has not decided to put the red bubble any keys here.
Surprised that neither player went for the bait of 2 chapters grabless.
Meanwhile, we're seeing Isaac not do DTS here. This is intended 1-dash threats. And Steven gonna be getting a hit on the final ship here.
That is big. Once you know the locations of all 3 ships, the amount of things you have to do narrows quite a bit. Steven is going to be doing a lot more focused, targeted, objective gameplay from this point forward.
Yeah, can completely avoid the entire bottom left and 1500 meters and dashless chasm.
That's very nice.
So it's only limited to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objectives left. Only needs to complete 5 objectives and is complete.
I think Steven's going to suspect that 3 blue, 3 red is on there. Although, 2 chapters grabless is right there. I don't know. And what else has Steven got to do? Steven's got to do, yeah, 15 and 4. I think at this point, as Steven, you pretty much know what you're going to have to do. Whereas Isaac is still searching a little bit for possibilities.
I'm being a little bit slow with the reticking, but Isaac does get jump on a pufferfish there, so knows the second ship location, and should be getting the third ship location soon with 3 binoculars and 3 chapters.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And then at that point, I think Isaac will also have the key information, because once you see that you've hit an objective that is adjacent to a really long objective, you know that's what your opponent picked. I mean, come on, these are smart players, so I would say Steven has a little bit of an advantage because of the earlier knowledge, but I would not call that a definitive win yet. A lot of execution still here to go.
Yep. And Isaac enters the red bubble. Does not get a tick.
Oof. Yeah, this room is one of the biggest places you see divergence between whether or not you hit DTS. Because if you have double dash, you can just dash straight up to that power box in the top right corner. If you just have 1 dash, you've got to do this convoluted routing to get a jelly, and then do a very precise jelly drop and up dash, which Isaac successfully does the second time around.
Very nice.
It's so much easier when you can just dash up there.
Well, Steven gonna be completing 3 blue, 3 red hearts. So 1B gonna be getting a red heart. Just so happens that Blue and Red City is gonna be ticked, but Steven will not have to tick that, just these 2. Work on 3 blue and 3 red hearts. And is completely avoiding the 2 chapters grabless right now.
Which is interesting because Steven did do 1A grabless first pass and then just decided, nah.
He did do that. Yeah, it's very interesting as to seeing not even completing like 2-way grabless, which is also like in the Loco generator, that is the lowest tiered grabless objective because it's just so fast to do.
Yeah, I mean,
like it only loses I think 5 seconds over normal 2A. At least up to a given point. So it
doesn't require a lot
loses.
more skill either.
Yeah, exactly. Because chapter 1, I think you are forced to go left side, but you probably could do right side, but it's just a lot more difficult. Isaac doing 8 keys, not hitting it. Maybe collecting up some more berries here. Shrine Arb. Just eliminating even more options. And we can actually start to see the all collectibles and 2A sides pay off huge for
Yeah,
Steven.
I think so. I'm wondering where Isaac is thinking about completing that. That's 15 in Ridge. That
Okay.
was the purpose there. Maybe finishing off collectibles in 2A.
Yep, and Isaac does enter 2A to presumably finish all collectibles and also get Diploma in Awake.
Let's see, is this going to be the yeah, this is the third B-side that Steven is working on. And I think has the blue hearts already? I think 4A.
Yeah, chapter 6, chapter 2, and chapter 4. So that will be all 3 blue hearts. So this is the last one. It does get a little bit stuck here, but it's not going to be a big deal. This room is very short. Isaac dodging battle and unfortunately doesn't make it through. That was very unfortunate. Just some of these moments that, like, this one little mistake just results in something that could turn much more drastic.
Ooh, yeah, not quite getting through this room cleanly on Isaac's side. Nice corner hop there for Steven. 2B is so much fun. I love a good dream block level.
Yeah, me as well.
I think for players that are sort of they're on their second time through the game and they've beaten it and they enjoy it and they're starting to think about speedrunning, it's one of those chapters where you play it and you're like, I bet I could do this pretty fast. I bet I could do this in like 5 minutes, and then you do that and it's like, oh, you're hooked. Now you're speedrunning forever. Yeah, so lots of progress on Steven's side. What's left? What's left to tick? 3 blue, 3... Didn't have the third blue? Or...
Nope, there's 3 with 3 red. That is another sync.
Okay, so then what are we seeing here?
The last one is going to be 3 winged in 1 chapter or 15 berries in 4 chapters. Which... This is books first.
He's not doing the crazy mess order.
Uh-oh.
No, he doesn't have to do that.
Okay, there we... Wait, okay, you're not getting berries, though. Okay, so this is the bottom right objective.
Why are we doing this, Steven? No? Okay.
Oh, and Isaac now also entering Reflection for its second
smart.
A.
Yep.
Has the intel. And yeah. Wait, did Steven actually go for Bridgeberry?
He did.
Okay, so this is gonna be the bottom right thing. Kind of funny that neither player went for this. Or neither player put a ship on this.
Yeah. I guess the adjacent objectives were not rich enough to make it worthwhile.
Yes, that definitely does make sense. Yeah, Isaac gonna be soon getting info on the
Getting crushed by the Kevin.
on the last ship. And 3 binoculars in 3 chapters. Decently fast. And because summit berries are actually not that bad for 15 berries.
True.
So
This is
still an option there.
Steven now going through the Baron books checkpoint, which has already been completed. Not something you normally see.
This, I think you only see this in Longo, in here because it's a blind gen, and in Tic Tac Go, where the Tic Tac Go was a variant that I came up with, or myself and another community member came up with, where it's just a 3x3 board of just all the best orders, and your goal is to get like a line, like normal Tic Tac Go or Tic Tac Toe. Yeah, that's just some more of the special variants that we do. And Isaac gonna be getting another hit on the last ship and is going summit here for 15 berries and 3 binoculars.
Like it. That's the mess berries.
Yeah,
Again,
and
not entirely clear why, but
that is it for the game.
yes, 15 and 4.
15 and
Just
4
doing
has
it in a
been
flashy way, I
completed.
guess. What a thriller, GG.
GG, hello.
Hello, Steven, and congratulations.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed
GG.
the way I've cleaned up 15 and 4.
Not understand until the end. I'm like, why? He knows he doesn't have to do that.
What was your last thing, Steven? Was it 3 binos and 3?
No, I cleaned up. Oh, for you.
No, your last chip.
Yeah, 3 minus and 3.
Okay.
And 15 and 4. It was a close one.
GG. Yeah. I'm probably a few minutes away, but it's a really fun
Yeah.
board.
In terms of routing, you only needed 15 berries in summit and 3 binaries and you were done. So
No, I need 15 in another chapter.
okay, I see. But still, it's overall very close. Very good routing from both of y'all for all collectibles and 2 A sides. I didn't spot that until Steven started going for it.
Thank you.
And yeah, 8 keys, use a red bubble in 3 chapters. Isaac, what was your thought process behind putting a 3 ship there?
Mostly that I forgot there was a red bubble in Power Source. I'll be honest.
I see. Yeah, that definitely does make sense. Because red bubbles are just very difficult to find. Because the first 3 that come to mind are the 2 temples and Summit.
And then Summit. Yeah.
And then
That's
you just
actually-
don't remember where the farewell one is.
That's what I thought the objective was. Honestly, I thought I had to play until 2,500 meters, which is where I was planning on getting the last 3 binos if I needed to. But
Steven,
I was in Power
pass-
Source and I realized, so thankfully.
Steven, first pass 1A grabless, but then never a second chapter grabless?
Honestly, I was kind of thinking about it, but I actually have no explanation. I just never,
Mentally
did
bailed
a
on
second
it. I was like,
chapter.
nah, I'm not gonna do that.
I considered doing 2B grabless, but
Oh,
I'm
no.
really
Confident
bad at the upright dash. So
And Isaac, wing golden first pass. Steven, did you?
you did for the content?
Yeah. I saw that it was an option, and I just knew I had to.
Gotta
I'm not
respect
even mad.
You gotta respect it.
I cleaned up 15 and 4 with the mess order berry, like the actual order.
Yeah,
So I also
that's
did stuff
nice.
for the content.
Yeah.
I think my only regret is red bubble in 3 instead of 3 winged in 1. If I'd remembered about the bubble in Power Source, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Fair.
Because there's already farewell synergy with 8 keys and clearing out pufferfish. So it made it a little bit stronger for you to go there and get that objective.
But
All
yeah,
right.
this was a super fun board. Shoutouts to LMB for making this for us.
Yeah.
You did a
This
great
was
job
a
with this
custom
new
board.
generators.
Some new stuff that we hadn't seen before, like that mess order.
Yeah, mess order for the berries is not what you normally see in the generator. Normally, you
actually
only
wasn't
just see
sure.
orders for just completing it.
I wasn't sure if I was eligible to take it after collecting the last berry since it's new. So I wasn't sure if I had to press the button.
Yeah, you don't have to actually finish the mess order, or normally you would for the objectives we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
That was great, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right. Any final words they want to say from the runners?
I think for me, just shout out to the Celeste community Discord as a whole. If you're interested in playing Celeste Bingo, we have a super active community, lots of beginners. We love to see new players. And we actually have an ongoing tournament that I'm going to be playing in, I think, later in the afternoon tomorrow, I think after Bingothon ends. So check out the Discord server and our stream there tomorrow.
Yeah, and I just wanted to echo that, like, shout outs to Celeste community, to the usual suspects there, you know who you are. Shout outs to Bingothon for having us, to Creepy Meta Gloria as well for commentating.
Yeah, thanks so much.
The pleasure was all ours here. Trust me, that was quite something. All right, so I believe coming up next we have Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask Co-op Blackout Bingo, and we stay here where we're raising funds for Doctors Without Borders, and also on stream if you're watching. Shout outs to Nitro Speedruns, who's restreaming in French, and we'll be back after this hopefully short intermission.
you ever wondered what happens after you click donate? At Doctors Without Borders, we immediately put your dollars to work. Here's how. Around the world and around the clock, we track emergencies, and our medical teams go wherever the needs are greatest. When crisis strikes, teams of doctors, coordinators, and technicians mobilize to assess the most immediate needs. Every single minute counts in an emergency. Your support could help send out essential supplies and medicines from our warehouses across the world. Your donations could deliver emergency kits to earthquake victims in Syria, send surgeons to operate on wounded people in Sudan, dispatch nurses to fight cholera in Haiti, and even turn a train into a hospital in Ukraine. We don't pack up when the headlines fade. Your donations allow us to stay as long as we're needed, wherever we're needed. When you give to Doctors Without Borders, you're joining a global movement of people committed to saving lives. Donate today.
How much to make me do the cow and house goal? Regular,
Here's
right?
the deal. If we reach $1,500 until the end of the run, you're gonna be doing cow and house. Alright, I got a new donation here. You wanna read it, Paul, sir?
It is $14 from Pink Batman 12 saying, "Can't wait for CJ to check the house and the cow."
House and
cow. Is that just what we started saying now?
I guess it is.
We just got a $35 donation from Silky Steve, who said, "Bingo! Time for house and cow. House and cow. House and cow. House and cow."
All right, we're off to the ranch. So I have to complete 2 laps of the obstacle course in 50 seconds, nonetheless. Don't know if that counted. No, it didn't work. It didn't count.
Oh, come on.
Off by frames.
That was so incredibly close. Fortunately, we do have to cut that there, though. We are out of time.
We did get bingo, at least, which is better than one of my practice runs did.
Bye.